Hello everyone, my name is Bhavesh Mukheja and my roll number is 21PH10008. And for my third DIY assignment, I am going to disassemble and assemble this Dell's mouse. And let's see if it's working. So yeah, it's working just fine. And now let's start disassembling it. So on the back side of the mouse, we can see there is a red light coming out and there are two rubber strips. These rubber strips provide grip to the mouse so that it can work efficiently on a surface. So to get into the interior of the mouse, we have to remove the lower strip. And as you can see, there is a screw here. So let's open it and get into the interior of the mouse. So as you can see, I have opened up the mouse. So let me just quickly explain the basic functioning of the mouse. So as you can see that a red light is emitted by an LED in the back of the circuit, which passes through a series of lens and falls on the surface, and it comes back and get reflected here and get converged into the back of this OMS sensor. Now this marks as the 0th position and it gives a blink, as you will see. Yes, the blink. So it captures an image, and when we move the mouse around, it captures multiple images and compares them, and that's how we calculate the distance we travel in the XY plane. It calculates it and send the data to the computer using USB and encoder, and that's how the cursor moves in the PC. So this is the lens setup. As you can see, it is made up of plastic, and here's our circuit. So as you can see in the circuit, the connections have been made. This is a OMS sensor, a capacitor, and 3 switches. This is a micro switch and a scroller with a shaft and a rotatory encoder. I will come back to it later. On the back side of it, it's the back side of the circuit, and here is the back side of the OMS sensor where the light converges after bouncing back. It's quite important. And here's our red LED light. So back to the circuit. Now these switches are for the right click, left click, as this signifies the right click, and this is for the left click. And this switch is for the scroller click. So when we click it, we don't have to scroll anymore. We just have to move the mouse relatively. So now let's come on to the functioning of this rotatory encoder. So the basic function of the rotatory encoder is to measure the rotation of this scroller. So how does it work? Let's see. I'm just taking it off. So it works on the principle that a light is emitted in it, and it goes through a similar kind of surface like this, or a wheel. So if the light passes the obstacle, a particular kind of signal is generated, and if it doesn't, another particular type of signal is generated. And that's how we come to know that how much the scroller is rotated and in which direction. And it encodes it and sent to the PC using USB cable. So that's the basic functioning, and let me show you that how it's rotated. Just a second. So as you can see along the shaft, it will also rotate. Its will also rotate. Yeah. So this is how it works. Most of the parts of the mouse is made up of plastic, or more precisely ABS plastic. So let us talk about the body part, and it has been molded desiredly according to the mouse. What are these interesting structures are these. When I push them, it helps us to click. So right click and left click happens by using these buttons kind of structure. And the second are these holes. So they are really important if you want to close the mouse. If you don't put them in these structures, it won't close, and it could be really troublesome in closing the mouse. So now let's close the mouse and see if it's working all right. So I have closed the mouse and placed the lower strip, and now let's see if it's working. Yeah, it's working just fine. So that's all for my DIY assignment, and I hope you liked it. Thank you.